Last time we were working with a sample data frame and we created some dummy data and encoded it with zeros and ones. This time let's use some real data from this data file. Let me open Excel, and I've already taken this movies.dat file from the Python for Data Science book, and I'm just going to drop this into here and open this up in Excel. It has an ID column, it's a movie name column, and then it has a movie genre column. We're going to bring this into our pandas environment using the read table method that we looked at the beginning of the course. To do that, we simply need to identify the path, and then we're going to use this separator attribute to say that we want to separate these strings based on these double colons here. We'll get an ID and a name and then a genre back from here. You might also remember this engine equals Python attribute, and we're also telling it that we don't really want a header here, and then we'll output that to inspect it. Here's the column names that we gave it, so we have that nicely structured now. We're using this head method. I don't think we've talked about that before. Let me delete this and run movies without the head, and it gives us all 382 rows. If we put head back in here and delete this parameter and run this, it's going to give us just the first 5. And we can also use the tail here and get the last 5. So head and tail gets the first and last 5 respectively, and we can tell this to grab 10 of the tail. But let's go back to the head with 11 rows. What we're going to interact with is this genre column. And we have another separator in there, don't we? We have the pipe symbol or the or symbol, that character that's just like a straight up and down bar, and we have to deal with that. In order to do that, let's add another code cell below. We can use loc to grab a value out of there and see what it looks like. Movies.loc, we want row 10, and we want the column genre. Now to get rid of these pipes, we simply use the split method. Let's put this into the variable called spl equals, and then dot split, and split it on the pipe. It split along this pipe as a delimiter, and then it created this simple Python list. So we'll use this method down below, and we'll loop through all of the items in the genre column. We're going to create this new empty list here, and we're going to extend that list every time we grab an item, and we're going to split that, and then we'll see how many items we get back. We get 6,408 items back. If we output this and inspect it, the reason we get so many is because, see, we have comedy here and comedy here and comedy here, for example, and children's here and children's here, and we have all these redundants, right? See, here's comedy and comedy and comedy. It just grabbed all of them. We're going to have to get just the uniques, so let's comment this out. And down here we're just saying, okay, create a new variable called genres and just grab all the uniques from that genre, and when we output it, we do not have that many. How many do we have? We can use the length method to find out. We only have 18. So whereas up here we had over 6,000, here we only have 18. Now in order to map this for encoding, we need to create a matrix that is as long as our movie matrix, because we're going to encode every movie, and then as wide as our genre length. So it's going to be 18 wide, and how long is it going to be? 3,800 and something? Let's run this and see. Yeah, 3,883 rows and 18 columns. And so we're just using our length method to define this MP array full of zeros. Now we need to convert this into a data frame. And while we do that, we might as well define our columns. And our columns are simply going to be all of these genres. So let's run this one. And we're outputting just 2 of our rows so that we can check this. Apparently we have all 18 of our columns here. At this point we need to talk about this getIndexer method.